What's up, y'all? My name is Ryan45678 and welcome back to the Edger Bike project. Now, we're not going to be touching the engine today. I just thought I'd show you just as a reminder of what this is about. So as you can see in front of you, I've got a very long piece of pipe. I also have these very long pieces of pipe. I have two of these. These are 1/2 inch inside diameter plumbing pipe from Home Depot. So they're actually more like 3/4 of an inch in outside diameter. These pipes, this one actually, sorry, just one, is 3/4 inside diameter. It's more like 1 inch outside diameter, which is perfect. So today I'm going to be doing some cutting and tube notching. I'm not going to be doing any welding because I don't really feel like dragging the welder out today. But I'm going to start by taking these off and cutting off the threads because I don't need threads. I don't even want threads. So what I've got, I don't know how stable this is going to be. It seems okay. Just got these clamped to a chair right here. And I've got my angle grinder, my safety gear, and my apron. I've also got gloves because the metal gets really hot when you cut it. Not to mention it's getting hotter. It's probably close to 90 degrees. Even just the sun gets things really hot right now. It is really important though to have whatever you're cutting to where it doesn't move. If you're not careful, you can damage the cutting disc. I actually did that because I was lazy and I used a vise when I was practicing with this thing, and it actually broke the disc. Unfortunately, it didn't do anything. It didn't fly off and hit me in the face, but that is a possibility, so be careful. So after we cut the threads off of that piece, we're going to be starting with either the seat or the engine base. I'm not sure which one I want to do yet. Easiest, I don't know, either way it's going to take a lot of cutting. This will take more cutting. This is more essential though. The seat doesn't have to be perfect. This needs to be pretty much right. As we get into these other parts, if you can even read my handwriting, it gets a little more complicated. So let's just start with the base. A simple 10 inches, 18.5 on both sides after we cut off these threads. Oh yeah, another important thing with this is it's not just 10 inches, it's not just 18.5. I have to actually add the amount that I need to notch the tube. So for tube notching, if you don't know, it's basically like this. You mark your center line, take a depth of what you're going to cut of about 1/3 of the diameter of the tube that you're notching into. So in the case of a 90 degree, it would be like this. I'll link a video on where I learned how to do that. And you just make your line from here to here and here to here, and you cut those. It's a little bit more complicated when you get into angles. Use this as your reference line to where it's going to go against the tubing. Then you basically go down the center of it, mark 1/3 of the diameter of the other tube, and go this way. So that way you have this wrapping around both sides. So I'm not trying to make a tutorial on this. The video that I watched explains it way better, but that's the idea of these two different types of things. I've yet to see what to do when you have something like I have where this base is going to have notching here on one of these. So that's another thing I have to be careful of. I only have to notch one of these. The other I can just leave the way it is. And I'm going to have things coming out of it. So I don't know how to notch for something like that instead of just a tube. So we'll figure that out as we go along. So I think what we'll start with, I don't know if it'll be easier to clamp down a short tube or a long tube. So I'll go ahead and make these long so I don't have to worry about cutting these. Okay, so I went back and measured on my CAD program. This is actually 20 inches if I don't have to notch anything. I'm glad I discovered that. Alright, so we'll start by cutting off these threads and then we'll move on to two 20-inch cuts. There we go. Clean as butter. You see how hot that is by how it's smoking? You do not want to touch that with your bare hands. Even if you have bare hands, like bare hands. So now take a measuring tape, measure out 20 inches, just right here. Inches right here. And you always want to cut twice and measure once. Or is it measure twice and cut once? You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. You got confirmed 20 inches. Go ahead and cut that off. There we go, one 20-inch piece. It's not the straightest cut, but we'll be notching it. No, we won't. I take that back. It definitely isn't the straightest cut, but it'll work. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It just needs to be pretty close. Move the clamps again. Once again, take the measuring tape. Mark 20 inches. Double check. 20 inches. Now we're good to cut. There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. Two 20-inch cuts right here. We're off to a good start. Now we got two 10-inch cuts to do, plus 2/3 of an inch for notching, because that's, I take that back. These are 3/4 inch, so a third of that would be 1/4, so half. Add half an inch, so 10.5 inches for these two. 10.5 is about here. And we'll double check. 10.5. Now you could potentially mark this one, mark the next one, and cut both, but I'm going to wait and not do that because it could change slightly depending on how exactly you cut it. Excellent. Okay, so we've got the base for the engine done. What I think we'll do now is probably work on the seat, because those two are pretty much independent. I'd like to cut as many pieces as I can at one time, because I don't want to have to drag the welder out if I don't have to on multiple days. I'd rather weld everything all at once for the most part, mainly because the cord has to go in the door and the door has to stay halfway open. So alright, so next we got the seat. I had these marked as 29.75, but we'll just go with the straight 30 inches, I think. Make it easy. So we do two of those, and then we'll start cutting these. These actually need to be notched as well. 7.75 plus a third of 1/2. Ooh, that means I screwed up those a tiny bit, but that's okay. So I added a half an inch. So we'll just add 2/3 of 1/2. That's essentially 8 inches. So we can make these 8 inches and we'll be fine. So I think what I'm going to do is essentially not notch these. Only notch these crossbar or whatever you call them. Notch these and leave these alone. Unless I need to do something to them. I can do it later. Alright, now we're ready to make that first 30-inch cut. I actually got the line in here. I meant to have it off to the side, but that's fine. I don't feel like messing with the clamps again. We don't have quite 30 inches here, so I think I'll start using these for the 8-inch pieces after I do that. Yeah, that could have been bad, so be careful. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'll be cutting these that way again, because that's dangerous. I should have just not been lazy and redone the clamps. Luckily this thing didn't get damaged, so good on that note. First seat piece right there. So now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these 8-inch pieces. I think we'll get maybe 2 or 3 out of at least 3, maybe 4. So we had about 29 inches, so see, 8, 16, 24, that'll be 3. We'll just have this end as a scrap piece for smaller sections later. So this, I think, is where I start clamping these to the table, because I don't have a long enough chair anymore. Short enough chair, my bad. Ow, don't touch that end, it's very hot. This is presenting quite the problem here. It's really not working too well. Right now, all I want to do is measure, so it's fine, but for cutting, that's not going to work at all. Okay, so that'll hold it. It's not the best way to do it, but I think it'll work for one cut. That's not working. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to find a better way to clamp this stupid thing. Alright, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but I totally have 2 of these chairs, and I can do this. So make it so much easier. There we go. I think that's the straightest cut I've ever made with one of these. It's pretty darn good. Good thing about this is I can just take off one clamp, measure it, and move the chair. See, that's where you can mess up. I got this caught here. If I hadn't measured and checked it again, I could have messed up. Now, no, I'm going to learn from my mistakes and not cut in between the clamps this time. Just going to do it the right way, or at least the way that's been working safely so far. That should be good. What I'm going to do, instead of trying to clamp it in 2 tight spaces here, I'm going to flip it over, cut it this way, just like that. You probably didn't see anything, but another reason to wear safety goggles. A big giant fiery piece of metal, I assume, flew right up into my goggles. So always wear goggles. Don't ever not wear goggles. Don't never not wear goggles. You know what I mean? Alright, I just got a fresh piece of pipe and I'm gonna cut the threads off, cut 2 more 8-inch sections out. Alright, so I got 5 of the seat pieces cut. Now I'm gonna make these. They don't have to be exactly 5.6, but just about. I'll add a third of a half. So you know what? I did have the right numbers because I was going by, dang it, I was going by the inside diameter. Just double check. They're about 3/4, so, oh man. Okay, so it is 1/4. I was right. It'll be fine though. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it might actually be better if the seat ends up being skinnier, so I can actually sit on it better. So yeah, this is a learning process. It's not perfect, and it'll come out okay. So these I will notch. I'll put 1/4 extra on them. So we'll go with 5.75, 5.8. So yeah, 8/10. 5.8. We'll do 4 of those. Okay, wrong measurements. I got interrupted by something, but when I came back, I just realized I need 2 notches. So 1/4 inch on one side and 1/4 inch on the other side is 1/2 inch. So I need 6.1 inches. So it's a good thing I didn't finish that cut. All right, so I got all these cut. I got 4 of these 6.1 inch pieces, 5 of these, and I actually need to cut 1 more of those. I forgot. 30 inches. All right, so I got that one cut. Next, I'm gonna do there's a shock support that goes across the 2 things that go up. I don't know if it actually helps support the shock, but it's in that general area. It'll give it some more structure. That one will be easy. I don't need the actual measurements yet because they go up. I can kind of fit it where it fits. So we've got 10 inches plus 2 1/4 inches. That'll be 10.5. After that, we'll do these Y pipes, 11.5. Those are going to be harder to notch because they're at an angle. I don't know. I'll probably save those for later. All right, so I've got these cut and I labeled them just so I don't forget what they are. Now what I'm going to cut are these rear downward supports that are on the back of the frame. They're 19.3 inches, so notched for 1/2 inch, which is what they're going into on both sides. That'll be 1/2 inch each, so 19.8 inches. There's one cut, 19.8 inches. I forgot to mention these are 3/4 inch pipe now, but yeah, we'll go ahead and cut the other one. Since these are a little bit thicker, I do have to come around to the other side and finish it. Finish him! Alright, so now we come to the neck, which I believe I can do. Yeah, I can do this, eyeballing it, and these I'm going to leave for last, as well as the swing arms, because those I kind of want to get an idea of what they look like on the bike first. So we'll get the neck pieces. These 2 are actually going to go to the steering stem, which is 2 inches in diameter. So 2/3 of an inch extra for these for notching purposes. So I'll round up to 0.4 for that. So that'll be 11 inches plus whatever it needs here, which I'm not exactly sure, but these are all going to be 3/4. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So if we say this is our piece, it's approximately here. So what we'll need to do is notch it here. This is where it meets. Just about. We'll use that as our line. I measured everything from center, like from center where it meets, so about here is where I measured. So from here to wherever 11 inches would be is where I'm going to cut it. And that's, in case you missed it, this piece right here. So real quick before I start cutting these, I'm going to label these A, B, C, D, and E, just so I can keep track of them, because I'm going to not be able to do that. Alright, now for the part I'm calling B, it's 4.5 inches plus 2/3, plus, I don't know, that's going to be a tough one. I'll give it, what should I give it? It's 3/4, so I could give it 1/4. That might work. I'll give it about 1/4. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so next I got C, 6.6 inches, and I'm not going to notch it because that goes into the seat. And I don't know how to do that exactly. I'll probably end up having to notch it to where it's going to fit after the fact. So I'm going to leave it as is for now. Maybe a tiny bit longer. So this give it a little bit more than, because of that angle, a little bit more than 2/3. So, and maybe a little bit extra for the leeway here. So we'll do 7 inches on that. All right, so now we have D. This one is going to notch into a piece like this, just like this one did. So I'll do it based off of that again. And this, I'll give it a little bit more than 2/3, so let's say 3/4, 8.6. Actually a little bit more than 2/3 is about 0.4, so we'll go with that. So about this angle. So yeah, there we go. 9 inches from here to wherever that goes. All right, so next we got this last piece E, 6.6 inches. We'll give it another quarter, about 0.3 or so, and then add some extra for that, and about another 0.3, so 0.6, that's about 6.2 inches. No, sorry, 7.2 inches for that one. All right, so now that we got most of the stuff cut that I wanted cut, I'm gonna leave these to cool, and I'm start cutting the notches, or marking the notches actually, for the seat crossbars or whatever. And I'm gonna do the same thing, mark, is it a 1/3? I think it was a 1/3. Ah, dang it, I've been doing all my notches short on the other pieces because I was going 3/4, but they're actually an inch, more like an inch in diameter. So that's kind of okay, but you live and learn, you know. I could maybe notch them a little shallow. So these are 3/4, these will be a 1/4. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start notching these. I'm gonna start with these that I've already marked for the base, and then I'll move on to these. I'll show you guys one or two, and you'll get the idea of it. All right, so I got these a little backwards. You're actually supposed to mark, instead of from here to here, you're supposed to go from here to here. That way you get a nice clean cut without having to meet them in the middle. So I'm gonna remark all these and then start cutting. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take a chunk this way and a chunk this way, if I can get to it. I might have to turn the pipe around, we'll see. I should be able to get this one. Man, you would not believe how hard that was to clamp, but I finally got it. So I'll go ahead and notch this second part of it. All right, now I've got this one set. Once again, not perfect, but you can clean it up and it'll work just fine. Fun part is going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, probably about 30 of these. Double that if you count each individual cut as one. So that's going to be fun. I may need a better way of clamping these because it's not working super well. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys when I've finished all these, that one, and whatever else I need to do. All right, so this is what I've got so far. I notched all 5 of these. I didn't notch these yet. I did notch these. I notched these 2. That's going to be the base. That's the seat. You can see kind of just coming along. That's the neck. These 2 are the rear supports, and I notched this thing, which is the swing arm support. So I actually broke. You can probably see it in there. I actually broke a cutoff wheel. So I finished what I was doing with the grinding wheel. Hopefully I can either get some grinding cutoff wheels, or if it's not too difficult, maybe I'll finish today with the grinding wheel, and that'll be it for notching, at least for everything that I've got so far. Alright, so I got these all notched. I don't remember which ones I had before and which ones I didn't, so this one is notched. All these are notched. I did these are new. I put these like this. They're not exactly notched, they're just butted up to where they'll weld now. With no gaps, basically. I'll have to clean some of these up. Like these, this one is going to have to clean up some. And these were a major pain. The ones for the neck, I got these. Basically cut here and here for each one. This one's good, this one's good, this one's good. This one I screwed up. It's still hot. You can kind of see on that side, I made the cut go that way for some reason, so I had to fix it, but it ended up working pretty good because I kind of needed a deeper cut on that side anyway. So any kind of fill I'll just have to weld in, but that should be fine. As far as I can think of, that's all the notching I need to do right now. The rest I'll clean up and notch later on the day that I weld everything. So yeah, the only things I have left are the swing arms, which I'm going to build something like the last thing I do. These front Y pipes, because I don't know exactly how they're going to fit. Just any variation in the other things that I just did could cause the measurements for those to be wrong. So I'm going to custom fit those when I have most of it done. these, I still need to notch these rear downward supports. This one I did notch already. I notched the seat, I notched the base, I notched the neck, and that's pretty much it as far as pipe frame pieces goes. After that, I can start worrying about how to put it all together and fix the little minor things. But other than that, that's all I'm doing today. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more projects like these. And as always, if you want to support this channel, there are affiliate links in the description below. But I'll see you guys next time.